Hello, I am Dr. David Snow with the University of Pikeville Coleman College of Business and with the Kentucky Innovation Network. Today we are here to talk about entrepreneurship. So what is an entrepreneur? The common definition is individuals who pursue opportunities without regard to resources they currently control. This means someone has an idea for a business or a product and they begin pursuing the idea, and they later have to assemble the needed resources such as money or skills, equipment in order to produce a product and sell it for a profit. How do they do this? First of all, typically an entrepreneur discovers a problem which needs to be solved, a want or a need of a particular customer. Then they develop a solution which matches the problem. They also discover what resources are needed in order to create this solution and to deliver this solution, this product or service, to their customers. Also, an end result is how do they make money from this endeavor? So for you all who have written books, what you're addressing, your solution is the book itself. So the problem you're addressing is really a want of your customers who want to be entertained by reading a book. And what you will work on this semester is how you will make money from this. So why do people do this? Why do people pursue entrepreneurship? One reason it can be fun. To find a problem and create the appropriate solution can be quite fun. It's also a skill. Learning how to spot a problem, developing the proper solution, and acquiring the resources are skills sought out today in order to start your own business or to work for progressive companies. So this can be a career choice, to work for yourself as opposed to working for someone else. And this is what many authors do. They write books and they support themselves through the writing of additional books. So this can provide independence in order to have your own career instead of working for someone else. So to give you some examples of young entrepreneurs, people your age, Maddie Bradshaw has actually been on Shark Tank. She invented a way to decorate her locker at school, and she created a product of shelving and decorations that she sold this to other students. Robert Ney taught himself how to write computer code, and he created a game, built an app and sold a game, and within 2 weeks he made $2 million with his game. Some local entrepreneurs your age, the Branham sisters. They created a product, a prototype for a product to prevent people from burning their selves with a curling iron. And they participated in a local Eastern Kentucky business plan competition and won $800. Charity Mullins did the same thing. She created an aquaponics gardening project and competed in a local business plan competition and won $1,000. So we often hear the term innovation. What does that mean? It means invention times commercialization. For example, you have invented a book. You have written a book. Now what you need to figure out is how to make money with this book. The same thing with people, with entrepreneurs who create products or services. They create a product and they discover a way to actually sell the product and make money, and that is considered an innovation. So what is the process you will go through? First of all, you have created a product. Now you need to understand a business model. A business model consists of the pieces necessary to put a business together and to make money. And normally afterwards, people actually write a business plan, which is an operating plan for how the business will function. So the remainder of today, we will look at a business model you can use in order to discover how you can make a career out of writing books. This is called the Startup Model Map. It has 10 boxes which comprise a business model. And each of these pieces you need to fully understand in order to start a business or to make money as a career. First of all, we start with the problem. Now typically, for a problem, you have to find out how large is it worth solving, how many people have it, what they consider the pain level, how serious is the problem. So for you, your problem is, again, it's people who have a need or a want to be entertained by reading a book. But you can apply this map to any type of problem in order to create a business model. Next thing you want to consider is the type of customer who has this problem. So you want to focus on a specific set of customers and be able to describe them. The reason is you want to know how to market to them, which means how will they find out about your product, and you want to be able to sell to them. How will they receive your product? So for example, with your product is a book, how will you market to the people? Will you put a radio ad? Will you do a reading at a bookstore? Will you put ads on Facebook? How will you approach your potential readers about your book? Next, how will you sell your book? Will you put it on Amazon? Will you put it in a local bookstore? Will you go to a book fair? How will you sell it to them? How will they pay you for it? These are considerations, but first you have to know who your customer is before you can make these decisions. Next is the solution. Now typically for a product someone develops to be an entrepreneur, they want to have a fit between the problem they are addressing and the solution. Does it actually solve the problem? So you need to be able to describe. For this group, for you, you have created a book. So you already have your solution in place. The next thing is to discover who is the competition. How is your customer solving the problem now? So in the context of you as an author, what other books are they reading? What other magazines are they reading? How else are they being entertained? So this is your competition. And you need to understand how you can position yourself. So if you write a book, what type of book do you need to write for your particular customer, and how will it compete against other books already on the shelf? So you need to understand your value proposition. A value proposition is why a customer will give you money for your product. So in your case, why will the customer pay you for your book? Things to consider with a value proposition is what makes it worth the money they're paying you. How does it compare to the competition? How does it compare to other books? So for a typical product or service, the way you can build a value proposition is to understand how your product can be better, faster, or cheaper than a competing product. These are things you need to know in order to market your book as attractive to a potential customer. Next, you need to assemble a team. For a typical business, many skills are necessary, such as people with accounting skills, people good with numbers, people with marketing skills who know how to sell the book, people with the skills who can write the book. So for you, for an author, of course you wrote the book, but do you have pictures in the book? So do you need a photographer to take pictures? Do you have animations of the book? Do you need someone who can draw? Someone has to publish the book for you. Someone has to print the book for you. So are these, how do you make these things happen? Next, you need to understand the costs. Costs are involved. If you have to pay a photographer to take pictures for you, if you have to pay someone to publish the book, if you have to pay someone to manufacture or print the book, if you have to pay to have the book shipped from the manufacturer to the bookstore, these are all costs you have to consider. Next is revenues. How will you make money with this book? So things to consider typically for a business is how many different ways can you make money? Specifically for you, with your book, is how will they pay you? Will they pay with credit card? Will they pay with cash? How much will they pay? So you have to decide, what is your book worth? Is it a $10 book or a $20 book or a $30 book? Based on your value proposition and what your competition sells their books for, you need to understand what the pricing should be. So how often will they buy your book? Well, if it's a book, likely they'll buy it one time. And maybe if you write another book, they'll buy a second book. But for other products and services, it may be something which is consumed or used up, which they have to buy on a frequent basis. Lastly, you need to decide, you need to understand, once you subtract all your costs from the money you've been paid, is there profit left over? Have you made any money? Next, you want to understand growth. How do you make this business bigger? For example, in your case, if you write and publish and sell a book, likely you're selling it in Eastern Kentucky. Well, you can expand your reach and sell your book throughout the nation. or you can write additional books, additional types of books. If you wrote a comedy or a drama, you can write a different book. You could write a Western or a science fiction novel. So you can expand your business in many ways. Lastly are the vital actions. These other 9 boxes, you look at the vital actions to understand how do you make all this work. What do you need? This is where resources come in. How are you getting the book published? In this case, Kelly Thompson had the book published for you, had it printed. But in the future, how will you get this done? Who will you contact to publish this book for you, to print the book for you, and who will ship it for you? How much money do you need to do this? Do you need other people to help you with the accounting, figuring out the finances, how much money it's costing you, how much money you can collect? Do you need other people to take the pictures for you to put in the book? So what do you need to make this happen? Are you going to write this book with a pen and paper? Do you need a word processor on a computer? So what is necessary in order to make this happen?